Hey everybody, welcome to our live today on muscle soreness and stretching and foam rolling and all the good things that are going to make your muscles feel better when you are working out hard. I wanted to find a nice bright place to sit comfortable and quiet. I ended up in my son's bedroom, and so here we are. So, all right, the topic today is muscle soreness, and if you have any questions, let me know. So first of all, where does all this muscle soreness come from and tension? Have you ever said, oh my gosh, I have a knot in my back, or, I have this muscle soreness, or this feels so tight, right? And so I want you to first understand, I'm not going to use like biology and, heavy terms, but I want to make it easy to understand as to what's happening in your body. Have you ever gone for a massage and they're like, wow, you have all these knots, right? And so first I want you to understand what that means. And I used to get these knots a lot. I suffered a really bad back injury in 2008, right after I got married. And I was going to the massage therapist. I was getting all kinds of therapy. And what the massage therapist told me, and this was when I really started to visualize and understand what was happening, is that when we start putting a lot of tension, or we work a muscle really hard, or there's a weakness in some place in our body and the rest of our muscles come to help out, think of it as like all the friends are coming over to help support a weakness. And so the first thing to understand is when you're weightlifting, especially, you're tearing your muscles. And then the muscles getting stronger is them repairing stronger and healthier. So you're tearing and then you're recovering the muscles, right? And so if you have a weakness and all of these other muscles, it's the muscle fibers that are coming together. Think about Red Rover. Remember that game we used to play where you'd hold on to your friend's hands and somebody would try to run through. And it's kind of like that, where the muscle fibers come together to form a strong muscle or a strong knot, right? And so they feel this weakness and they attach to one another. And that's what creates these knots. So the knots are really the muscle fibers coming together and holding on tight, right? And so you might feel this soreness or this tightness. And what we need to do is we need to break it back up, right? And so that is what all these techniques that I'm going to tell you about to loosen that back up again. And that's what I'm going to tell you to, how we're going to do that. So another thing is that I want you to understand too, when you're contracting a muscle, like when you're doing bicep curls, right? And you are working your bicep, what you're doing, you'll be able to see what the muscle actually does. When the arm is extended, the muscle is long and lean. When I contract it and I pull together, do you see how the bicep right here, it balls up and there's a little like baseball, softball, depending on how big you are. And so it's long and lean. And then it shortens, right? Long and then shortens. And so if you do all this muscle work and you are shortening, contracting all of your muscles, and then you never stretch them back out, you end up with these bulky, short, tight muscles. And all the fibers get stuck right there, right? And you never are stretching them back out and letting them recover as lean muscle, right? So you want lean muscle, you got to stretch them back out so that they can recover as lean muscle. Your body tends to do what it does, right? So if you walk out and you're always walking with your belly hanging out, guess what? Your belly's going to hang out. If you always walk with your belly up strong and tight, then that's what it's going to get used to. So the body's going to do what it's used to doing, right? So if your body is used to being short and contracted and small and bulky, then that's what you're going to get. And if you never stretch them back out, you're never going to get that lean muscle. So when is the best time to stretch the muscles, right? You might have heard plenty of times in your life, like, before you work out, make sure you stretch, right? Or before you go for a run, make sure you stretch. And what I'm going to tell you is that we never want to just start stretching cold muscles, right? And so if you think about a workout and what needs to happen on either end, you want to warm up before a workout and stretch after a workout. Once those muscles are warm and they're contracted, that's when you want to stretch them back out, right? You don't want to just start stretching cold muscles, because you can tear them and you can overextend them and stretch them when they're not ready to be stretched, right? And so you should be warming up, right? And that means moving before your workout. So in a lot of my live workouts that I teach on Tuesdays on Moxie, so that's moxie.xyz/JillOrtiz21. When I teach those classes, I start out a lot of times by mimicking the moves we'll be doing during the workout with weight, but I kind of shadow do them at the beginning. So we talk about, here's what we're going to be doing during the workout. We're going to do these different types of bicep curls, and come with me and let's start doing these, right? We have regular bicep curls, and then we're going to turn our palms to face in. We'll be doing hammer curls. And then at some point, we're going to be doing wide curls where our palms go out to the corners of the room. And so by doing all of these warm-ups, we're getting these muscles ready to work, right? At the end of the workout, after we've contracted the biceps so much, then we're going to do some stretching, right? We're going to stretch them out. We're going to stretch them out this way. We're going to stretch them out all kinds of ways. And that is how we stretch those muscles out at the end, right? The only time when you might see stretching at the beginning of a workout is when we do a certain type of stretching, right? So there's two types of stretching. There's static stretching, which you will see at the end of a workout, right? When at the end of the workout, we all stand and we go like this and we hold it, right? We're holding it for about 30 seconds, enough time for your muscle to go, hey, wait, what are you doing? Oh, okay, right? Okay, I can stretch that out. That's okay. I'll relax it, right? And so we hold stretches at the end of our workout. But if you ever see somebody say, okay, we're going to stretch and then we're going to work out, or we're going to stretch and then we're going to go for a run, what you're going to see is called dynamic stretching. And so that might be something where like you're open and you're closing, and you're opening and you're closing. And really that is serving as a warm-up. You are stretching, but you're not just holding. It's dynamic, it's moving, right? So that is a sort of stretching that you might see prior to a workout, maybe in a class or something, okay? So ways to stretch, and let's bring in some other techniques for releasing the muscles for helping with soreness, right? We want to break up those muscle fibers that are sticking together. We want to break them up. So one thing that we do, and as a personal trainer with NASM, one of the first things I learned was about this amazing thing called a foam roller. And if you don't have one, then you should go get one. I should have grabbed my little black bumpy one from the other room, but I didn't. The little black bumpy one is really short. It's really hard. It has all these bumps, and it's harder and it's tougher and it hurts more, right? And so that's for the really athletic person who's ready for more deep tissue, right? If you ever go to a massage therapist and they say, so are we here for a nice relaxing aromatherapy massage, or are we here for a deep tissue massage? And you're like, I don't really want to feel like super uncomfortable and like you're killing me throughout this massage. I'll take the nice aromatherapy massage, right? And so it just means that they're able to get past that first layer of tightness and deeper into the tissues. And so that's what the foam rollers that are denser, more rubbery than a foam one. And so that's what that's going to go. It's going to go deeper into those muscles. But if you're just starting out with foam rolling, this one will take you pretty far, right? They're not very expensive either. You can find them anywhere. And so what we do with this is called self-myofascial release. And so that is you doing it to yourself, not going to a therapist. Myofascial is that top layer of, the muscle that you want to be breaking up and loosening up. And we're releasing, right? Self-myofascial release, SMR. And you can do this anytime. You can do it as much as you want. And what it does is it kind of primes those muscles to be stretched, right? And so it's warming up those muscles. And I'll teach you how to do it too. It's something I teach all my clients, is you're basically trying to find those spots where those knots are, and you're just sitting right on those knots and waiting for them to release. So if you've ever heard somebody say, let's do some foam rolling, and you just sit there and you're like just rolling on this thing all over your body in these all different weird ways, and it's on the floor and you're sitting on it and you're rolling, that's not really what you're looking to do in SMR. What you're looking to do is you're looking to roll until you find that spot, right? So if I've been working my forearms a lot, because even on my leg days, I'm holding 30 and 40 pound weights. If I find that there's a spot here that's really sore or tender, then I find that spot and I put that pressure on and I hold it there for 30 to 40 seconds, right? And that is the technique. And what it does is, at first, your muscles are always going to go, hey, wait a minute, this is uncomfortable, I don't like this. And you're going to freak out. You're going to go, oh my God, it's so sore. Like, this hurts to sit on here. And you breathe through it, and it takes a little time, but then it eventually releases. And so it's priming your muscles for that stretch. And it's a way to release those muscle fibers. And so SMR is good to do every day, whenever you want, before your workout, after your workout. It feels really good. And what it does is, if you take the time to go from your feet all the way up to even behind your shoulders, you let the lay on it, what it does is it tells you what your sore spots generally are. And I'll tell you that sometimes it's not the spots that you're feeling discomfort or muscle aches that are really the issue. So for instance, a lot of us have low back pain, right? And what this comes from is, it generally comes from another area of the body that is tight. And so you might have tight glutes or tight quads or tight hamstrings. And that pull is actually pulling, and you're feeling it in your low back, but it's actually coming from these other areas. So it's a good thing to foam roll and figure out what are those areas where you feel that tenderness, because if you can keep those loose, then your whole body is going to feel better, right? So that is your foam rolling. We've talked about stretching, both dynamic and static. And the last tool is something that I've incorporated in last year because my company sent me one for free, because I earned it by helping lots of people. And so this is called a Theragun. And this is a massage gun. And so this thing is freaking amazing. And it's got 3 settings. It's got like low, medium, and high. And if anybody does high, or I think it has 5 settings, it gets pretty intense. So what it does, it has a lot of different attachments, and it has an on button, and it's supposed to be built in this ergonomic way, whereas you can reach any part on your body and massage anywhere on your own, right? So you can massage wherever. And this is extremely helpful in breaking up those knots, right? And what it does, I'll turn it on, it's going to be loud. So you hold down the button to turn it on. See that? Boom. And it just pounds on that area to get that muscle to break up. So it's got 2, 3, 4, 5 settings. And that is like turbo. So you don't generally, 6 maybe. I don't go beyond the first one. So otherwise you feel that. And so what it does is just you just run it over that area, and you can, if I'm feeling triceps and I got to work out the triceps, I just hold it there, and it does the same thing that the foam roller does. It can go a little bit deeper, and it feels really good, right? And so you can do that on any part of your body. Oh, that feels so good, right? It's amazing. And so this is something, to have them in different sizes, different, levels of price levels and whatnot. But this thing is an amazing piece of equipment, and I absolutely recommend it. So this is called a Theragun, and I'm sure there's other massage guns out there too. But a lot of professional athletes use these too. So it's fantastic, and you can recharge it. And and so those are a few different ways to work on that muscle soreness. Of course, I always think it's important, after you are doing a lot of this muscle therapy for yourself, is to drink a lot of water, right? To flush out all the toxins that you're, and the lactic acid that you're releasing when you release the muscles. And so always a lot of water is good, a lot of rest, and of course I drink my BCAAs, my branched chain amino acids, after my workouts, after my muscular workouts for sure, to help cut down on soreness. And so that helps a lot too. So if you need one of those, I will recommend my favorite one. It's a great way to get chocolate in your day, or orange, or whatever it is that you like. And that's it. So I hope this was helpful, and give me a shout if you have any questions. And that's it. So have a wonderful day. Bye.